Afternoon and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge to talk about video games.
Oh, yes.
Today we're hot on the heels of the news that E3 is cancelled. Damn.
Fuck. It can't.
Fucking
Honestly,
bit of
can't even believe it. Like,
bit of a blow, I must say.
Yeah, it's E3, man. I mean, it's kind of feels like we've seen this coming for a little while now, but you know, it's kind of been trending this way, but it still sucks to see that.
Yeah, it does suck to see. It is a bit of a bummer. I mean, we did see it coming because I remember for the past few weeks I kept seeing headlines about, different publishers and console manufacturers pulling out of the show. So, you know, I was thinking to myself, I remember just a week or two ago, it's going to be a pretty bare
It's going to be
show.
shit anyway. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Enough people pulled out that they just pulled the plug and said this isn't working anymore, right?
And I guess the reasons for that are many. We can probably talk about that a little bit in this episode. But
definitely, yeah.
I'm going to start by saying, you know, in spite of my cynicism about all this shit, because it is a fucking just a greasy capitalist shit show in many ways, but it's the end of an era also, right? Like,
it is. It's somewhat heartbreaking, right?
The money changing hands was an opportunity for people who practice the craft of making games to exhibit their work to the rest of us too.
Yeah.
Who aren't involved necessarily in
That's
in
probably
buying games for fucking Walmart or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's probably its biggest problem is it almost just being redundant and sort of not necessary anymore. Like
I guess that's the thing,
today's day and age, right?
It's
Where
redundant, yeah.
technology and with the internet now, everything is everywhere. Like it's just fucking.
That's right. Nobody really needs
easy
something
to share
like that.
news. Like back. When E3 rose to popularity, it started as like the trade show where people would go and get information and bring it back to their offices and write fucking, magazine stories and even internet articles, I guess.
That's right.
And shit and whatever, right?
Yeah, I remember reading the official PlayStation magazine in the year 2000, and they'd have the E3 issue.
E3 issue.
Photos of all the
big news, everything. And you'd see stuff that like some games that wouldn't even come out because somebody showed it off and then eventually got canceled. Like things were so different back then, right? The sharing of information was not like nowadays where everything's instantaneous.
That's right.
It's very hard to keep things under wraps now almost.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking bummer.
Fuck, dude. So
it is a bit of a bummer.
So in that sense, it still grew and became successful because it kind of eventually became like a fan thing where, people not in the industry like us would just be watching it, and everyone knows that you'd see big announcements, you'd see big games being showcased, and even, because the manufacturers involved and you'd see console announcements, anything was on the table. Like, it was just amazing and fucking exciting, right, dude? The biggest thing of the year, which has now kind of been replaced by the Game Awards at the end of the year, it seems, right? So we've sort of seen this transition kind of over the years where like a lot of the big game announcements have been coming at the Game Awards instead of E3. E3 kind of started to dwindle, COVID hit, and then it like fucking even more so, right? So
it slumped, yeah. That's a pretty good rundown of the fucking recent history, that's for sure, yeah.
It's been through some shit for sure, right?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just being sentimental, but there's something about that fucking excitement for the landmark event of the year there where you'd hear about stuff you wouldn't hear at any other time that I'm going to miss, The same way that, like, prior to streaming, like, I missed that, like, early 2010s, like, HBO era where every Sunday night everybody get together to watch a fucking episode of something.
Yeah, right? You know how, like, the Netflix style is, like, they just dump a whole series and you just binge it? Like, part of that, like, I kind of don't like. I mean, it's great because you can just watch it all at your own pace.
For the same reason I'm articulating, exactly, yeah.
The ritual aspect of it where, like, it drops every week and it kind of leaves you a little bit, throughout the week. You have to wait to see what happens. And that's suspense, right? That's how TV thrived in the past, right?
I like
Off
that
of
punctuation.
Suspense. They want you to want to fucking watch,
that's right.
Dying to see what happens next week, right?
No, I like the punctuation of human life by ritual and events and feasts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I'm going to miss.
Fair
even
enough.
In spite of the fact that the information is accessible, we have like 50 other trade shows now, and I don't even know their names because there's so many of them, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's just all kinds of, there's always stuff going on.
I barely even tune in now. It's like fucking, this thing happened. It's like, all right.
It's true, that's true.
You're just going to hear about it piecemeal all the time anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't, It's more effective, who can deny, at getting the information to us, but at the same time, it feels more mundane now.
Yeah, it's just like if you want it, it's there, but like I'm not going to I'm not gonna watch every little thing, every announcement, every show,
That's right.
like there's always announcements. There's you know, people showing trailers on
for fucking every year. We got together and watched E3 for fucking a long time, man.
That's true.
Most of our adult lives, probably even before we came here, there was a lot of.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I used to, as early as probably when I was in my teens, like maybe 14 or 15, I'd be glued to fucking computer watching this shit, announcing, you know, whatever the hell is going on. Oh man, great.
And from
fucking
whom?
good times.
Yeah.
Amazing. But there were some big moments at E3s. I'm sure we could look back on our videos and talk about. That would have been awesome. But
yeah, more than anything,
at some point.
It's just the lack of that fucking feast day that I'm gonna miss, you know? That
I mean, I guess the only, like, maybe the fucking silver lining is whatever fucking, I don't know, maybe not even, whatever announcements were gonna be made there, is people will just hold everything to the Game Awards, and that'll just be the big thing now for, like,
the Game Awards. That's
surprise
true. The Game
announcements.
Awards pretty much like that now for us.
Yeah.
Anyways, right?
Maybe it's good, maybe it sucks. I liked that, you know, when you think about it, it was a staggering amount of content for, like, each company to have like an hour and a half, 2 hour long presentation. Like they showed hardware, games, they demoed games, there was all kinds of stuff. They talked about what they were working towards in the future. It was just such a, and that's part of that is like we were saying before, when you're in the industry, they're showcasing to you, like, hey, this is what we're doing, you know, and what we're working on in the next you know, whatever, so many years. That, so, you know, as someone in the industry, you're obviously invested in that. You want to see where shit's going, what's going on. As fans of fucking video games and all the companies, we just want to see what the fuck is being announced. It worked so well. It was amazing when it was like at its peak, you know, seeing consoles announced at E3, fucking all kinds of games, trailers. Fucking the best were the live demonstrations that sometimes would go wrong, and like it was so beautiful. We'll never see shit like that again, because no game company will do that stuff. Like, not on that scale. Like they'll do their own live streams and shit.
Yeah,
with
those like ridiculous fucking like productions that they did.
Dude,
yeah, they were always like fucking cringe as fuck.
Yeah, they fucking they did stupid shit. Like one time Naughty Dog was showcasing Uncharted 3 or 4, and it like fell into like some kind of glitch loop, and they had to like reset, and everyone was like, oh, this game's gonna suck. Like the media went crazy, and I was like, Jesus Christ, God. And then that's why they stopped doing it, right? So like fucking the media runs with that shit, which is sad, because it's cool to see something like that, right? Like at least they're showing off what they're fucking working on, right? Not just some fucking pre-rendered garbage or some fucking phony, you know, story BS trailer. It was a time indeed that is now gonna go the way of the dodo, I guess, right? I don't know. Like, what do you think? Do you think E3 could come back next year?
I don't think so, man. I was just saying,
I think it's like done, right?
The trajectory is probably that it's gone, because if people are finding alternate solutions this year, why would they make a comeback to that, right?
Yeah, it would probably take a lot for a comeback to mount. I don't think it's gonna be that easy.
But there is a pretty large fucking spread of other shows. It's not like there's a lack of them, right? So I don't know. It's just ones that we're not familiar with, and I think the Game Awards is going to take the place of E3, at least to like to Western audiences. Yeah,
to Western for the big announcements, and I guess mainly big game announcements and shit like that. It seems that Jeff also has a pretty good in with you know, a lot of the big studios, FromSoft guys, and he's only been growing that whole brand, the fucking Game Awards and everything. So it's like, it's becoming that like premium fucking destination. You announce your game at the Game Awards, like only like Kojima and like
plus like shit tons of celebrities go.
Yeah, it's pretty big time.
All
shit
of the
now.
game people go.
Yeah,
everybody's there, right?
Yeah.
All the good, noteworthy studios, indie studios, fucking Disco Elysium was there. Like everybody,
everybody's been there. Everybody, that's a big
way
thing,
better
man.
than E3 in many ways.
I guess.
If you think about it, it's not fucking nearly as sleaze as E3. There's some sleaze, of course, but it's not like E3 sleaze. Holy shit. E3 was legit a corporate event. This is like independently organized, even though they take corporate money, I'm sure.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. I mean, I do like Jeff, and I love what he's been doing with the Game Awards over the last couple of years. So
yeah, me too. Me too.
Totally in on all of that. And you know what else? Fucking like nowadays Sony and Nintendo and even Microsoft, they just do their own shit. PlayStation has PlayStation Directs every like couple of fucking months or whatever, weeks and whatever. We don't even watch them half the time. And then same with Nintendo, now. They just did the fucking Direct for the Zelda, the one I was showing you, which was cool. They showed some of the features of the game. It's coming out in like in a fucking month or two or whatever, and just do their own fucking marketing like as they go. You know, they don't need to drop a big bomb on you. Like, I mean, if they want to, they will at the Game Awards, I guess. That's what we're pretty much saying, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. The dynamic in the fucking industry is just changing in that regard, right?
Yeah, it is pretty
sad to see E3 go, but at the end of the fucking day, I guess it was.
Yeah.
It was to be expected after what's been going on, and maybe it won't be gone forever, but hey,
at the same time, all those functions we just noted that we're going to miss about it, we can find elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's not that E3 had a monopoly on them, right?
Things are changing, there's other avenues, and...
Yeah, that's a human element. And yeah,
Long live the old E3.
That's a positive note.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe to conclude, you want to fucking say a couple of remarks?
Yeah.
Sum it up. It's sad that E3 is going because we're going to miss the punctuation of our lives by this massive event that all of the industry participated in since we were kids, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Some nostalgia.
Yeah.
A bit of sentiment involved. But if you fucking look at it objectively, I guess not only is E3 redundant and marked by like a fucking fair degree of like corporate sleaze that, you know, we're not going to miss. But there's also alternate sources of that same like fucking ritual aspect of like social enjoyment, you know, we derive from E3, right?
Pretty much, right?
You can look to the Game Awards especially as a fucking noteworthy and though corporately sponsored, not corporately owned alternative.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point actually. That I guess it's not as, you know, obviously it's sponsored by the big corporations and they're all there, but
run their ads and
at the end of the day, it is its own entity, right?
Yeah.
Cool shit, man. Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad note. Not too sad, not too happy.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world. But
let's look to November then. Fuck, what's in between now and then? There must be something.
I don't know, because I don't really keep up with them that much anymore. I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, we'll fucking look into it.
Yeah.
As for now, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. And have a good night.